Hey everyone, in this short lesson I'd like to talk about this plasma ball effect that you see on the screen. It's a very simple effect and yet um, really nice looking, and it's completely procedural, and um, most likely beginners would kind of prefer um, this type of lesson. And it's quite easy to set up, and probably the interesting part of this effect is it proceduralism. Okay, so in the next lessons we'll uh, create some uh, moving effect and some kind of a reaction uh, where kind of if you have seen um, the plasma ball effect, like when you have some connection, um, it creates kind of a more secure lines, and we also will make it procedurally. And lastly, I might probably create the, an HTA of um of this effect, so you could simply just you use this tool without need to do all those steps plus extra. Okay, and so here's the render, and you might probably see in the promo that I've created. Um, so here's the final result, and let me kind of run through how it was made. And starting with sphere, this is the base, and we have some details quite on our sphere, and I'm using normal, and I'm assigning normals to our points. This way we could use this normals on our points. Okay, so here we have two bases, like a small sphere and a big sphere. They would like to create points on both of them, and then we will try to connect them. Okay, so starting with the small, here we have a few points with a custom point attribute assigned to the points, and then we'll group it, and then we'll simply rate on top of that sphere. Okay, so here we're using a minimal distance because the kind of distance between them, it's actually very low, so they will just stick on top of that sphere. Okay, and the same was done with the bigger sphere. Again, we have the same amount of points. So as you see, I'm kind of referring to the first scatter. So you just copy parameter, and then you'll just paste relative reference. This way, the more points you'll add here, it will automatically will be placed here as well. Okay, the same point attribute is added to this points. So we'll use this attribute to connect them later, and the same procedure. Okay, and here's the uh, here's the connection method. So we're using add swap and using by group and using this attribute that we have assigned to the points. Okay, and yeah, so here we have our lines, but I decided to go a little bit further, and here I'm assigning a p-scale. I'm using the attribute noise sub, and I'm assigning a different p-scale. If we take a look on our spreadsheet, Okay, hide everything and our p scale. So here is you have different type of p scale, and also um, I'm I've checked this animation. So this way we have an animated p scale. So this way we can adding a little bit motion to our particles, static particles, and then just copying lines um, onto these points or particles. Okay, so here we have the line and some points um, assigned to the line, and so I'd like to group. I'd like to select the the farthest point. Okay, and later I would like to kind of exclude this point and use it as a connection between the the lines of the bigger sphere. Okay, so this way I'm just inverting the sort. So as you see, we have like 1, 2, 3, and so on, and then we're reversing it and grouping the 0 point. Okay, and also I'm assigning a p scale to the line itself, and it has this a ramp gradual effect. Okay, so later we'll copy some objects onto these points. Okay, so here we have now our lines. We're excluding the top points. Okay, as you see, those points that we needed. The same procedure is in here. Okay, noise to our p scale, and the same reverse sorting, grouping, and excluding. Since then, since that we have our uh, custom point PDID attribute, we can use this as well to connect to connect both like points of our small and biggest sphere. And here you can see like it's kind of a having some animation of our p scale that we had assigned. And also as the final connectors to small and big spheres, we're using those lines that we have. And as I said, we're using this ramp p scale, and this way it will create us such such circles, yeah, on both sides. And then we'll merge and give it a color. So we see some interesting result here. All right, and plus, since we have our lines, we would like to kind of give it some noise with the fall off. So I'm using the for each block to actually to work on each line separately. So I'm adding some more points, and I'm using uh, the the data that the data of this block just to kind of randomize the effect on each. So here I'm using this point wrangler, and I'm creating a custom attribute which is a line ramp, and it has this customly made this ramp curve. And also I'm using this metadata. As you see, I have this spare input, which you can create by just add spare input and drag and drop the node that you're using. And here I'm referring to this uh, metadata by using the detail expression, which is -1, refers to our spare input, and the attribute, that iteration, and I'm fitting it between like 0.5 and 1. Okay. Plus, I'm using the noise node, and here I'm also using this as a spare input with attached metadata, and I'm using this iteration value to randomize this noise effect onto each primitive differently. Okay, and then I'm using this whoop node. Here I'm using this color. In this case, I could use this line ramp that I've created, but since I have also a color that we have here with the line ramp, okay, I simply use that as the mixer between the noise applied curve and simple straight lines. Okay, then I smoothed a little bit, and here we're creating here I'm creating a p-scale with the same kind of a shape. I would like to be thicker in the beginning, in the middle, and thinner in the ends. So this way we have such an effect. And as you see, they move randomly, which gives it a natural look. And finally, I use this line ramp as the color assignment, and then merge everything together. There's just a little color correction. So I'm using the color attribute and just brightness, contrast, and gamut. Then motion, velocity, we compute the velocity just to use it as a motion blur, and then I'm converting the color to some custom color attribute to use it later in our Solaris, in our LoopNet. So here's the so what I'm doing here, I'm using those points that we have, right, as an attribute transfer. I'm transferring the colors, and then applying some attribute blur onto the color. This way we have some smooth smooth colors. Okay, so this is the final result of our plasma ball, and next we would like to render it. So the all necessary data is created, and here I'm starting with the plasma effect itself and our spheres. I think we are importing separately. Okay, and then so we have like 3 materials, and we use all those attributes that we created to so use the primvar reader. So we're using the color that we created in the in the SOPs. Okay, and nothing special. This is our effect, the plasma effect, And here as well, the only difference is we have some speculars since it's the kind of a glass ball. Okay, here I'm using the fall off um, to create like more transparent in the beginning and more reflective on the edge of our sphere. And yeah, so by multiplying, I'm just kind of playing with the values, and also I'm using the color that we have. And this is like for our for the outside sphere, and also for opacity, I'm using the same fall off. Okay. Finally, a basic light, nothing special. Okay. So we have our materials, then the basic dome light was, I don't know, do I have? Yes, I have some HDRI light that I actually downloaded from HDRI Heaven, which is very nice resource that I would recommend. And camera and just render settings with nothing special at all. We only kind of apply turn on our velocity blur, and yeah, so this is the final result. So as I said, in the next lesson we will try to add movement to the points, so we kind of add more life to our plasma ball. And the last thing, I would probably create some uh, HDA that we can use with different shapes, not only a spherical shape, and all those kind of living and breathing stuff uh, apply to it. Well, I hope you liked the lesson, and if it was useful, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the future lessons. Thank you very much, and goodbye. If you want more tools like this, check my FX tools in upcoming packs.